Go ahead. That's cool. My son's like, I need to go. Hurry up,
Shh,
because I'm
we
about to
started.
start.
We already
Yeah,
started.
it's all good. Go ahead, Papa. My son's trying to get out of here.
We're going to start the show with a moment of silence for Damar Hamlin. Since the incident Monday, obviously I knew that we would have a show this week, and us being us, that this is something that we're going to talk about, something that we're going to touch on. Me being me, you guys know by now that whatever emotion I'm feeling, you guys are going to know, like that's just how I am. So I've been thinking about how I would be able to sit here and talk about this. Remarkably, today we've had a lot better news come out, that his health is improving. Um, so it's kind of made it, I guess, a little bit easier. But I just want to go back to that, obviously to the Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Bengals. That was like one of the most anticipated games, coming on. Like on that whole weekend, right? Like so far, people are like, this is the game of the season. Like, there was a lot of playoff, things that, on this game, and obviously two great teams. So to sit down, me being a football fan, to sit down excited to watch a game, whatever. I always am in spaces with Miss Gina because she does a, space during the game. So I'm like sitting here watching the game, and like literally my TV is like right here in front of me, right? So that's how close I'm watching this game. And to see something happen that I've never seen, somebody said I think that it happened once, one other time in the 70s or whatever. Obviously, we weren't born, right? Um, so to see something happen in the game that we love, the game that we talk about, the game that we put so much of our time, our life into, to see something happen on that field that night that we've never seen before, to have somebody, like Damar Hamlin died on that football field. And thank God, thank everybody, whoever's out there, the universe, whatever it is that everybody believes in, um, thankful for them, thankful for the medical staff that was on the field, because they brought him back to life and, probably saved his life. If they weren't so quick to react the way that they did, who knows what would have happened, thankfully they were there. But just to watch that whole situation, to watch, like, I just keep like picturing back to watch Josh Allen's face, like he just like had this stare like of just like he just saw his brother die, like to see Stefan Diggs, a grown man, the football players, these are the guys that, pretend like they're the toughest out there, right? Like they hit each other for a living, right? Like all this stuff, all the injuries, everything that they go through. And we're watching these grown men out there crying, because their brother just died on the football field, doing something that they love, doing something that a kid's game, so many times we hear people call it a kid's game, right? Like, oh, we get to play a kid's game for a living. We get to play a kid's game, like a kid's game that, almost just took somebody's life, like it was just it's hard, like it's hard to, like I've been choked up about this like all week. Like after that, like I spent all night like just refreshing Twitter, just trying to get, like an update of what's going on, like is he going to be okay, like. And it's just it's crazy, it's crazy for something like that to happen. The entire football world, like for something to happen and affect the entire football world, no matter what fan of a team you are, so many of us that are obviously aren't Buffalo Bills fans have all come together. Like I go up and down my Twitter and everybody's profile picture is set for the Buffalo Bills, set for, Damar Hamlin. And it's just like amazing thing to see. Like, Damar Hamlin had a $2,500 GoFundMe set up, that for when he before he even came into the league. That GoFundMe's been there for a couple years. It had a $25 limit set and it hadn't even made it. And now that thing's like over $6 million, like it's just incredible, like what everybody's come through to, to pull for this kid, And that's what he is, a kid. He's like 23, 24 years old, and he's in there fighting for his life. And thank God this morning we finally heard, some good news. He's able to, he's squeezing hands. He was able to write, obviously they still have it. They said they still had the tube down his throat, but he was able to write to the nurse. And one of the first things that he wrote to them when he woke up last night was, "Did we win?" And they told him, "Yes, DeMar, you won at life. You got to live, um, it's just amazing, like, that he's been able to recover from this, like, this fast. Like, some people are like, he's never going to be able to play football again, which we don't know. Right. Like, but at least we're seeing that that his brain's working. For him to be able to squeeze somebody's hand, for him to be able to write down, that means his brain's working. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, something like that happens, it's like, okay, well, he was with 9 minutes, without oxygen and stuff going to his brain. You don't know how that person's going to come out, if they're, going to have any brain function whatsoever, and thankfully that it's trending upwards. But yeah, I just wanted to start the show and kind of, pay our respects to, obviously, Damar Hamlin, to his family, friends, to the Buffalo Bills players, to the Bengals players. Something, T. Higgins, he was the one that was involved, in that collision that, when this happened. And, he's gotten a lot of hate. I'm sure they said that he hasn't left the hospital since, that he's feeling blame because of this. And, that just sucks, like, that wasn't his fault. I was watching, some football guys, on their podcast talking, and they said that play happens, 40 times a game. Like, with the way that they're supposed to tackle, you can't tackle in the head, you can't tackle low, like, that tackle was exactly how it was supposed to, like, he didn't do anything wrong. And people are making him feel that he's to blame for this happening, like, that's a horrible feeling to feel, I'm sure. And then, hats off to the way that, Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott handled the whole situation. After it happened, the first reports came out that, they're going to give him 5 minutes to, get warmed back up to go back out there to play. Like, could you imagine? Like, the first thing I tweeted when I heard that was like, how could you expect them to play like this after that, And thankfully, the coaches came together, they talked to whoever, and obviously the decision was made not to play anymore. But, Zach Taylor, for him he had a lot on the line for his football team, and for him to just be, just a great human to, say, screw all that, and it came out that he told Sean McDermott, like, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, whatever you need us to do, that's what we'll do. So that's really awesome for them to be able to come together and do what was right, because I couldn't imagine trying to make those guys, for a minute there, you saw Stephon Diggs try to rally the Buffalo Bills back together, like, that they were going to have to play. And it was just like, how, like, how could you freaking possibly do that? So yeah, I guess, if you want to give your thoughts, whatever, on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna just go off of what you said at the end. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago when the NBA was training for the Olympics and Paul George, hit the back of the basketball goal and his ankle got torn up, and they stopped the game for that. And that's not really even life threatening. So for people to expect him to go out and play after a teammate was unconscious and pretty much had died for a few minutes, like, that's crazy to me. And I'm going to say this, I know it's not popular with everybody, but if you don't believe in God, you should now. The man was gone. They went in there and put the AED on the field, gave him CPR, and the man was out of it. He was pretty much dead for a few minutes, and they brought that man back to life.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you, like, it's not, this is just a reminder of kind of what we were saying a few weeks ago when I was just like, live life to the fullest. You know what I mean? Like, all these players have been passing away and celebrities, whatever the case may be. Like, tomorrow's not promised. So go out there, tell people you love them, don't hold grudges, and just go out and live life to the fullest. So the stuff with T Higgins is crazy to me. Like, this is football. Don't That man should not be blamed for anything. He was a football move. There was nothing dirty about it. So I don't get why people are sitting here saying, "Oh, T Higgins is a bum," and making all these comments to him. The man already feels bad that it was his hit that caused it. I wouldn't even know if it was his hit that caused it.
Yeah.
Just like this happen all the time. It could just be one of those things where, it was I mean, it could have been his run that caused him to collapse. Like, we don't know. So don't just people sitting there saying it was because of the hit. We don't know that, because we see people go down all the time just running and collapse. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just it's horrendous. And the people talking about talking about T Higgins are just straight fools. That's all I got to say about that. So yeah, it's just it's I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, I'm glad that everybody is rallying around this guy. He's hopefully he comes out of the hospital. And right now, who cares about football? If he can't play
Yeah.
football, I mean, it would suck for him because that's his dream. But the most important thing is that the man comes out of there alive. You know what I mean? So yeah, just shout out to the everybody in the NFL, the Bills, the Bengals. The Bengals fans were classy,
Yeah.
holding up signs saying, pray for Damar Hamlin. So yeah, it's been awesome. There's been a few people out there who's been saying some stuff that was distasteful, but for the most
Hmm.
part, everybody's been out there, you know, giving this man's prayers and trying to rally around him and his family and stuff. And the fact that one of the first things that he wanted to say was, "Did we win the game?" is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, not like, "Where am I?" or this is not like,
What
"Did we
happened?
what happened?"
Anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, did we win the game? That just to me, that just shows his passion.
Yep.
So I truly hope he's able to play this game going forward. But I hope him and his family make the smart decision and do what's best for him. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I mean, it was a tragedy. I'm just glad. I mean, I think the last person that this actually happened to, and I think it was somebody in the 70s, who actually collapsed on the field and passed away. So I'm glad that that's not has happened to him, and I hope it doesn't happen to him and to Trey Day. I know you came in asking me about the secondary, and I'm glad that you figured out what was going on in here. So yeah, we're paying respects to Hamlin. No, he hasn't passed away, but we're just talking about the situation to hear that talking about how he's recovering and all that stuff. So
Yep. So let's start with saying what's up to the chat. We appreciate you guys being here as always. Melissa, Miss Debbie, remember to hit that like on your way in, y'all. Yes, please. Thank you. 49ers throwback. JDLR. Yes, congrats. Ty. Tanya, what's up, sis? Jess from East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. Make sure if you guys ain't subscribed that you go over there and subscribe. That's Jess and Ty. They do a great job over there. Joel, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Denise, hey sis. Eddie, what's up, Eddie? Go through. Yeah, Trey Day. We'll star this so we can come back to that. Let me go. Bebop, what's up? Rohan, what's up, little bro? 49er minded. Bashar, what's up? Brandon. I don't ever know how to say this, so I'm just gonna say Renee. I don't know Cruz, but I'm not
that's
sure.
correct. Renee Cruz, yep.
Bryant. Hey, Bryant. Swan with his wave that it took me a year to know what it meant. Tony. All right, so before we get started, we're going to do, for those that saw on Twitter, we're going to do a duck hunt for the mods. We're doing a giveaway for just the mods. And it is for this. I already taped it up, but I guess I'll untape it so I can show you. For this Danny Gray patch card, it's numbered. It's gold. It's color match. Very nice. And then for this Elijah Mitchell, rated rookie, gold color match. And then also with this playoff towel, since we're going to the playoffs, got to represent. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. Whatchamacallit? So
Underrated candy bar.
we're gonna do a duck hunt. I mean a duck race, not duck hunt. Remember that game, Duck Hunt?
I sure do.
That
Came
little
on my
gun. You had to,
Nintendo.
get right up here for the gun to freaking work and
Yeah,
shit.
it came on my Nintendo when I bought it.
Yeah. All right, so let me share my screen here. We'll do that and then we'll get on with the show. Thank you guys for being patient and hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. All right, let me see. Add this to the stream. All right, everybody can see that, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for 49 seconds because, 49, of course. So
Of
good luck,
course.
everybody. Let's go.
Ty, that's funny.
Dang, look at that. Melissa got a mohawk. She's the only duck that has. Oh, no. Melissa and Tony are the only ones that have hair. The rest of y'all bald. Melissa
Tia
like
getting
Speedy
destroyed.
Gonzalez out there. Tia, she has all those cards that she already won in her pocket, so it's weighing her down.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Look at him. He looks like a robber. He's trying to rob the win away.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Uh-oh,
Tia.
look at Tia.
She's moving up with her spoon. Oh, shit. They had a jolt of caffeine all of a sudden. Oh!
Uh-oh. Bryant.
The Colts. The Colts been winning everything. All right. Done with that quacking. Congrats. Congrats, Bryant. I'll put this away for you. The Colts little folder over here is full already.
Nice.
Congrats. Thank you, guys. And like I said on Twitter, and like I tell you always here, that you guys, we might not be a big channel yet, so you guys aren't having to work hard yet. But one day, hopefully you guys will be in here working hard. So we're saying thank you now. Hey, Chrissy. Good to see you. I think that Tony Montana, you won the score prediction for last week, even though we were all hella far away.
Yeah.
Like that, he won. He was the close. This tells you how far off we all were. The score was 37-34. Tony Montana won it with a score prediction of 34-17.
Wow. Because everybody predicted blowouts.
Yep. So I'll put together a little something for you. And whenever I send out your other giveaway stuff, then I'll include that with it. So congrats. Let's go ahead and start off with a giveaway, and then we'll get into this. So go ahead and enter your numbers. Like I say, we're going to do some Drake Jackson love today since he got his first interception this week. So we'll start off with a Drake Jackson card.
Denise, we were all off.
Yep. So go ahead and enter your numbers 1 through 100. Make sure there's no duplicates. I also have 2 other cards sitting here that are numbered, 2 different numbers, obviously. And if anybody ends up winning with these numbers, you'll get this card on top of it. So we'll see if you guys do. And then, of course, if anybody guesses it exactly right, we have the Diamador Lenore auto up for grabs once you do. And once that's taken, we have a Ty Davis Price auto coming up. So those are there as well. So good luck, everybody. What's up, David McNew? Hey, Sin. Good to see you. All right. So I have a couple things. Let's start with
Okay.
Patrick Willis. It was announced this week that he is a finalist for the class of 23 Hall of Fame. So we'll find out. That'll be awesome if he gets voted in. But who knows? There's seems to be some mixed opinions on it. A lot of people don't give him the credit because obviously his career was shortened. With him hanging him up due to his injuries and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
so a lot of people say, oh well, if he would have played yada yada years, then maybe like well, he was dominant every single year that he did play.
Yep.
So like that's what I think is the most important thing. It's not
Exactly.
like he only
8-year
played
Pro
two or
Bowler.
3 years. He,
Exactly.
like you played eight, 9.
8 years, 8 years, 8 Pro Bowls, and I believe like 5 All-Pros.
Yeah, so it's like
So
he was dominant every single year he played in the NFL. Like I think that should take more into consideration for that than if you play 15 years and you're only dominant one
yeah,
year, 2 years, 3 years, like okay, well you didn't do it the whole time. Like consistency I thought was the
exactly.
thing. So yeah, so hopefully he can get in. I
You know what's funny,
think
Mariah? They complain about that. Oh, he didn't play that long. But you look at people like Terrell Davis from the Broncos, where he only played like 6, 7 years, maybe 8, and he was only dominant for maybe 3 or 4. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's
Mhm.
like he made the Hall of Fame. Barry
Right.
Sanders played 10 years. He made the Hall of Fame, and I love me some Barry Sanders, my favorite player of all time. So yeah, I don't get the argument of well he didn't play long enough. I feel like as long as you were dominant, you were arguably top 1 to 2 at your position. I mean, I think Ray Lewis had it, at that point. But everybody after Ray Lewis, it was always talk of Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
So
And then, like when people like with Frank Gore, like we try to use the argument, well, he was in the league forever, and then people, well, that's not important. It's like, okay, well, which one is it? Like it just goes against whatever we're saying. Like I,
hmm
I can't stand when people do that shit. And then let me see. I had some couple other things before we get into. I have like a bunch of other stuff to talk about because the Arizona Cardinals game is like a waste of freaking time, pretty much. We're playing against some who knows. Me and TL could probably be out there playing for him soon. Um, so we will talk about it, but I do have some other stuff I want to talk to you about. And the first we're going to start with is Huff. Let me get my stuff pulled up here. So Huff has been getting a lot of hate, a lot of whatever you want to call it. Maybe rightfully so. He obviously we know that he's given up like a touchdown, at least a touchdown in the last 5 games or something
hmm
like that. And hasn't had any interceptions in that time. When to start off the season and probably what got him voted into the Pro Bowl was that maybe he was giving up a catch here, a catch there, but he was getting the turnovers, so it kind of balances it out, right? Like for the first 11 games, he had 404 coverage snaps. He gave up 1 touchdown. He had 4 interceptions. The last 5 games, 211 coverage snaps, 5 touchdowns given up, 0 interceptions. And today they had talked to D'Amico, obviously about the whole defense is performance because me, I'm a huge Huff fan. So I'm going to say, obviously, I don't blame it all on Huff. There's been a lot of breakdowns in the back end, you know, and I think that this game against the Raiders shows that. It definitely wasn't just Huff that gave up freaking 34 points. And so when they talked to D'Amico about it today, he talked about that the safeties, the back end, they need to be more disciplined with their eyes. And it seemed like he was, kind of talking about Huff specifically, but without saying that. That his eyes, he tends to have his eyes in the backfield, paying attention to what's going on with the running back, the quarterback exchange, whatever, instead of having his eyes on his keys and going through the keys that he needs to go through. So he's getting caught up. Like he's not going through his keys on this guy's route, on this, paying attention to over here. He's paying attention back here. And by the time they throw the ball, well, we know, then he's out of position and can't catch up. Um, what are your thoughts on Hafunga, how he's been playing? And before you go,
Uh,
there's there's some podcasts that have been on the whole Tart, train. They're Tart guys, right? Tart was the best safety. We know what they say. So now, at the beginning of the season, everybody was going after them. Oh, look what Huff's doing. Tart could never get these interceptions, yada, 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 right? So now I noticed that they're coming out strong, talking up with the Huff. Oh, Huff sucks. We told you guys that Tart was better, yada, yada, yada. So we'll just leave that out there too. What are your whole thoughts on Huffunga and the back end, the whole
that's
secondary?
yeah. I don't know what podcast is saying this, and I respect every single 49er podcaster out there for the most part. But for them to sit there and try to compare Jaquiski Tart versus Talanoa Hufanga to me is laughable. He's probably put together. I know he's been struggling his last 5 games, but he's probably put together 11 games is probably the best he's ever played. He's played in Tart's whole career, because Tart really hasn't been that guy. So that's comedy to me. Yeah, he's been struggling, but I feel like the back end's been struggling just in general. Like I feel like Demo's been having his struggles. He played well against the Dolphins, but I feel like since then he's given up some plays and stuff like that. And Gibson's been pretty consistent. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to come. Hold on for a minute.
Tony says
I don't.
Huffunga getting ready for that game-winning pick six.
Yeah, and he might. You know what I mean? That's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I look at everything. I just think we just need to clean some stuff up. I think Hufunga's kind of gambling a bit. You know what I mean? Like trying to over pursue and stuff like that. I think he'll clean that up. He's a smart player. Um, yeah, and I just think, too, it's like, you look at what's been going on. Nobody's been talking about, how like Tarverius Ward, to me, I feel like he's been average too. I don't feel like he's been like that, how he was in the beginning and locking down too, like, but I just think that's one of those things that we have to clean up. The fact that we didn't have him shadow Devontae Adams the whole game, to me, was crazy. Like
Yeah.
you got to put that's what you paid him for, to take on the number one guy. And I don't care what side you feel comfortable in line up. He was, he needs to line up against the best guy. We get into the playoffs. If we play the Packers, he needs to be on Christian Watson. If we're playing the Lions, he has to be on Amon St. Brown. Like, you have to we got to put our best corner on the best receiver. We can't be sitting there gambling like that. So yeah, I don't know. I think I mean, you guys all. It's no secret to everybody. D'Amico Ryans is, he's my favorite coach on the team. you know, so I feel like, he'll get a chance to clean that up. So I don't blame everything on Hufanga. He just, it could be just a little slump, or maybe he feels like, hey, I need to do more, and he's overthinking stuff. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm not too worried though.
All right, let's get into the Raiders game.
Okay,
Well, before that, everybody got your numbers in, because we'll go ahead and draw this winner. I'm not going to leave it out there forever. Hey, Ryan.
I agree, Ryan.
Hey, Eric. If you guys haven't entered your numbers, get them in. We'll go ahead and pick this winner, and then we'll get into the Raiders game. That Raiders game, man. Obviously, we watched it together,
Yeah,
and that shit was stressful.
yeah,
Like, I remember your brother, like, them saying, like, dang, she's like really locked into this game. Like,
yeah,
when I'm stressed, like, I just like zoned out everything. Like, I'm just so like into what's going on.
yeah. I think everybody who came to the event was even shocked about the score. It's like,
Yeah.
what was going on here? So yeah, I know you want to get into the giveaway, but yeah, everybody was just kind of just tripping out on how things were transpiring in that game.
Like, even the workers, even one of the people that worked there was a Raiders fan. Even she was shocked. Like, everybody.
Yeah, she was like, "It's overtime." Like, she was even like surprised. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Like, holy
I
smokes.
found I found my first number. It's Denise at 23. So
All right.
we'll go down from there.
Let's go. Let's pick it. Where's my thing? There it is. All right. Good luck, everybody.
31.
31.
Okay, let me scroll down here.
What's up, Dion?
Uh, these numbers are kind of spread out. So
Mhm.
let me see. So far, it looks like Izzy, but I'm keeping it moving. Let me see.
38. Yeah, I think she was the closest.
Yeah. Let me
Was that
keep it
20?
going. Those 23, but that's 8 away, and she's only 7 away. Um, yeah, it's like Izzy at 38.
Congrats, Melissa. Get this put in here for you. Hey, sis. Thank you for stopping in. It was stressful, man.
The number was 31, Tony Montana.
That shit was, whew. Especially when, like, and TL had brought this up, like after we all did our score predictions, how we had it all like that we were gonna kick their ass, and TL was said after the show that you started feeling right uncomfortable about it because we all
Yeah, like
predicted it like a
yeah, I was
blowout.
looking at yeah, I was looking at the score prediction where like, mine was 38-10, and I think you were like 37 to 10 or something like that. Like you're right
34
behind
to
me or something.
9.
34
I
to
didn't even
9.
think they'd
Yeah.
score a freaking touchdown.
Yeah, so we're looking at it, and after the show, after we all had our scoring prediction, I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I was like, everybody's too comfortable. Like everybody's too comfortable that we're gonna go in there and just lay the hammer down. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Like everybody was just shocked about how the score was and stuff. And and I know I had told you before how um, I wanted to mention something about the quarterbacks. And granted, there was really not much film on that guy. You know what I mean? On
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham. However, what I was telling you, and I think I told Ty when we went to lunch on Sunday. I mean, I'm sorry, on Monday after the event, I told him I was like, look, I was like, I know the quarterbacks didn't necessarily run on us, but I feel like the Niners defense plays different when they have to prepare for a running quarterback, if that makes sense. So like you look at our 4 losses, it was against um the Bears, who have Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. Yeah, he's not the Russell Wilson of old, but he can still scramble on you. Right, against the Broncos, we had the Chiefs, who Patrick Mahomes can run a little bit, and then you also had, I'm missing somebody. Who's the fourth team who we lost to? Oh, the
The
Falcons.
yeah.
And then Marcus Mariota, we all know that he's an athletic quarterback who can run. And I was just like, even though, yeah, I'm not saying that the quarterbacks have 100 yards on us, but defense prepare for teams differently when a quarterback can't scoot on you. You know what I mean? When like, oh, he can take off. And I felt like that's kind of what happened here against the Raiders. Like, I guess Jarrett Stidham, yeah, he only ran for about 40 yards, but you can see that he made plays with his legs that extended drive. So then you had to respect his legs. You know what I mean? You had to respect his legs. So then I think the Niners started playing different, and that's when he started beating us deep. And Darren Waller was killing us. Devontae Adams was killing us. So that's something that I had put on Twitter a couple of days ago. Like we notice all our 4 losses are against quarterbacks who can run, and that's always been our Achilles heel for the last couple of years. Like quarterbacks who can scramble on us kind of give us fits because as a defense, when you have to worry about somebody's legs, you gotta, you kind of, I think you over pursue a little bit, and we don't really spy anybody. Like we don't say like, hey, Greenlaw, you stay on the line, you stay near the line of scrimmage just in case somebody has to take off. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so Stidham, he surprised me. I mean, the man threw for 300 something yards and 3 touchdowns on us. You know what I mean? And like I said, he was underrated with his athleticism. So that's something that, and I know some playoffs we play a little bit differently, but if we have to play, and I think you and I look, because we're looking at the Giants game, and the Giants been playing pretty decent football, and we're like, man, if we have to play somebody like the Giants, we have to account for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
The man rushed for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, he's not the best quarterback out there, but all I'm saying is, when it's something different, like when it's a pocket quarterback, we're good because I feel like our defense is predicated on our line getting home. You know what I mean? And when that doesn't happen, we struggle a little bit. So I'm not worried. I'm just saying that's just something that we have to clean up a little bit because if we have to play somebody like that, like if we play the Packers, not really as worried. The Lions, stuff like that because of golf. But you start getting into these quarterbacks who can scramble a little bit, it can be an issue.
Yeah. Let's start the new giveaway, and then we will talk about something that I have for you here. Yeah, this show is disgusting.
300, yeah. Jared's did them.
Like Jared, who? Like the
Yeah.
freaking Subway guy? Oh. Let's do a double. Let me see what we got here. How about
Izzy put the green law in.
let's do Brandon Ayuk and Kinlaw together. Good luck, good luck. So remember when there was a time that we talked about what happens when the defense can't carry the team? And this one, Jimmy was the quarterback. We were questioning whether or not, when the defense plays a game like they did and they give up, how many freaking points was it? 34 points. Is the offense going to be able to get their shit together and actually put up enough points to win the game? Because remember, at this time, we were only scoring, 12 points, 17 points, whatever, 19 points, nothing like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I think that it was, of course, I would, if we could go in there and they could blow out every freaking team, like that would be great, but, we know that doesn't happen in the NFL. So for them to go in there and, the defense to not play great, and the offense to have to score 37 points to win the game, and to be able to see that they can actually do that, that they can actually go back and forth with a team if need be, if the defense isn't playing as great. That was nice to see before we go into the playoffs, because once you get in the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game, right? And to see that our team actually stands a fighting chance. And yeah, it was against the Raiders. It was against the Raiders defense, whatever. The Raiders' shitty offense somehow found a way to put up 34 points against our number one defense. So anything's possible. And I just think it was nice to see. It was nice to see, we had talked about that Purdy hadn't ever played from behind. What's going to happen when he, a team's going to know he's going to have to be airing the ball out. When he's, every game that he had up until that point, he played with the lead or, tied, whatever, never down like that he needed to come back. And, we saw him, and yeah, he didn't have the greatest game. But when it mattered, he went out there calm as could be, led the team down the freaking, field. And then Robbie Gould misses a field goal.
Yeah.
To win the game. So then it goes into overtime and he has to lead the team down the field again and does it, right? Like, well, obviously the defense helped us out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't out there causing problems, throwing interceptions when we needed him the most. And that, I was always scared to death. Like if Jimmy has to throw the ball 40 times, and a team knows that he's coming from behind, he's going to throw a pick. He's going to throw 2 picks. He's going to throw 3 picks, and I didn't feel that. We watched him throw an interception, but I didn't feel every time he dropped back that the ball was in danger. Like, I just don't feel that with him. And it's refreshing. Like, it's so refreshing. To even watch him when he scrambles and he does all this stuff. And it's like that play where he barely got it out of bounds when he was about to get sacked, like it somehow still found a way. Like he twirled back in and twirled back out, and still found a way to get rid of the ball. Like, we would have never seen shit like that happen before. And when he's doing all that, like, I'm not worried, like, oh shit, he's going to get hit and fumble the ball, even though he's like half the size of everybody else around him. Like, I'm not worried about that. Right.
Yeah.
Like, like there's just something like maybe it's because he's so calm, and he even talked about that, like how he has to keep himself in the middle because he's the leader of the team. If he gets too high, too low, the team's going to, go off of what he is. So he said that that's why he tries to stay as calm, evenly in the middle. And I think it has an effect not just on the team but on the fans too. Like,
Hmm.
we would see Jimmy, he wasn't comfortable, he wasn't calm back there. He was back there tap dancing around, and then he's making us nervous. Like
Yeah.
if you're nervous yourself, you're making us nervous. You're probably making your teammates freaking nervous too. So it was just, like I said, we don't want to be fighting, like that in a game. Like it was hella stressful, like man. But to come out like at the end of the day, we came out with the W. So that's all that really matters.
Absolutely.
The
And
team,
Kyle too, his track record being down two scores in the fourth hasn't been good.
yeah,
Like his record wasn't good. The fact we were down two scores and then we came back and we won the game, is awesome, So yeah, I just and I think what it is too is just like, I think our weapons right now are just thriving. Like we're just hitting all cylinders right now. And like when you and I talked about, it was good that Kyle was using everybody. Like that's all we've been asking for all year. Like, even saw him sprinkle in some Danny Gray. Saw you know what I mean? Saw him see him get Jordan Mason get carries early. Like we're like, man, this is all that we asked for. So I feel like, and Ty had brought up like you noticed with TDP and Jordan Mason, spelling Christian McCaffrey for a while, it left him fresh to where he had that big run in the second half.
yeah,
Where it's like, he might not have had something like that because he was more tired and so yeah, so the way that Kyle's been in his bag, like I love to see it. And that just goes to show you and you know, and I don't care what you guys think. This is the thing is Jimmy was holding back this offense, plain and simple, and it's being
yep,
shown right now. The fact that Purdy's coming in, we're scoring a lot of points. Like we're like the last 8 games, I think we're like top three in scoring points, and stuff like that when we couldn't do that before. So that just goes to show you the difference with the quarterback play. And so if anybody was sitting there caking for Jimmy and saying, "Oh, he's the reason we win" and all this other stuff, you're wrong because it's shown right now that Kyle can win with the starting caliber quarterback that's not Jimmy. So throw out the Brian Hoyers, the CJ Beathers, and the Nick
Mullins,
Mullenses, and comparing that record with Jimmy and saying, well, without Jimmy, this is their record. Yeah,
yeah,
they're backups. Brock Purdy has shown that he can start in this league. So yeah, I love to see it right now.
yep. What's up? I saw a couple of you joined us. Tia. Um, I just had you guys here. Where'd you go? David
And
V.
he's in here too. Okay.
And there was another Christy Marie. David V. We're all rhyming up in here. Miriah Lee. You know how we do it. I think that was everybody. And like I say, if I miss you guys, I apologize because I do like to shout you guys all out.
Mhm.
Um, Everybody got your numbers in? Those that have just joined, we're in the middle of doing a giveaway for Brandon Ayuk and Javon Kinlaw cards. Make sure you guys have your numbers in.
Let me go back up to Izzy because she was first. Find her.
Oh
All right,
yeah,
cool.
what's ahead? Let's talk about this. She says, Marian T, thoughts on the goal line stand, Eric Armstead on his knees taking on 3 offensive players. Man, to watch that play and to see that Armstead like literally just takes the first guy, the guy that he's supposed to be blocking, that's supposed to be blocking him, and a grown ass man that's 200 and almost 300 freaking pounds. I think they said he was like 6'7" or some freaking
Mhm.
ridiculous thing, right? And Eric Armstead picks him up like he's a little baby and tosses him across the freaking field. Like, what are we doing here?
He's
And
getting a
then,
Trent Williams on.
yeah, and then he's on one knee and gets pelted by the freaking fullback and then gets pelted by the running back and still manages to like stop him. Like, that's wow. Like,
Yeah.
man, this team really, like, Armstead gets a lot of hate, and obviously with the whole Buckner situation, we know, he gets hate for that too. Like that's his fault. Um, but man, when he wasn't on this, like when he was hurt this season, we really missed him.
Hmm.
and it really showed how important he is to this team, and since he's come back, he's had, plays like this. Of course, he's his normal solid self on all the other plays, but he's actually having these splash plays where he's getting noticed, like that play. There's not many football players that are going to make that play that he
No,
made there. Like, wow.
that's one of the best plays he's made in his career, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, that was
Yeah, it was
impressive.
good. Yep. I have an Armstead lined up for the giveaway too. So we'll do that for the next one. It's hard. You don't find very much Armstead in cards like that. So
Yeah, yeah, he did his thing, you know. And like we said it too, like Drake Greenlaw, him at the goal line as well. Like, dude is just money at the goal line.
yeah.
Like, he's one of
Yeah,
the
I
best.
love when I think Greenlaw that's when he got hurt and had to get taken out for a play, like was one of the stands, like I'm like, this is when we need him the most, like
Hmm.
I hate when he's not in there for that because he's so good there too. Like to be able to read and react, like I think Greenlaw, man,
Like,
it's
his
like,
timing is
yeah,
awesome.
it's
Like, he
crazy
just know,
good.
like he anticipates when they're gonna snap the ball, and he's just there. Like his IQ is awesome when we get on the goal line. It's like he just knows where the play is going. It seems like.
I agree with this, Melissa. I
Hmm.
like Eric Armstead a lot more in the middle. When we were having to use him like opposite Nick Bosa and not having a like, I feel like that's where Eric should be playing. Like I don't feel like his normal position should be a D end,
Not at all.
so to have him outside opposite Nick Bosa, like I just felt like it was like not a waste, but kind of,
Kind of
because
ineffective, huh?
yeah, it's like when he's so tall and he's perfect for the inside.
Perfect. Yeah.
And now to have Drake Jackson coming along, hopefully, I know that we have these other guys, Sosa and whatnot, but next season, Sosa ain't going to be here. So hopefully by that time,
Hmm.
Drake Jackson's had enough play and, he's ready to take that spot because
Yeah.
the little that we see from him so far, man, he's in there making plays. Let's
Yeah.
talk about. I want to talk about Mike McGlinchey. We know that obviously another player that gets a bunch of hate, rightfully so. Um, he was lined up for most of this game against Max Crosby, and all the O line people, came out and said, "Look at Mike McGlinchey, he's playing so great." Blah blah blah. What do you guys have to say? Right? But when I talked to the O line coach today, he made it like he's like, "I don't want to take too much away from Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, he did good, but like we're planning for guys like that." Like an Aaron Donald. Like everybody would say, oh, whatever, what's his face is Aaron Donald's daddy and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
they're
Brunskill.
scheming for that player, right? It's not like they're just sending Brunskill out there to go one-on-one against Aaron Donald. Like they're having guys slide over, they're chipping, they're doing all this other stuff that they can possibly do to slow down. Like everything that players are doing, the teams are doing against Nick Bosa, that's what we're doing against these other guys to help, right? Like, and so he said that, like it's not just Mike McGlinchey going against him, but I do want to give Mike McGlinchey like a shout out because, these last couple few weeks after, his injury and all this, he's actually been playing solid besides the stupid ass penalties.
Hmm.
If he could, and he didn't have any this game. Like, and that's what good job, Mike, because when we don't have to hear your name and the broadcast, then you're doing your job, right? Like if we could just go every game without ever hearing Mike's name, then I would be so happy for him. Because that's the only time you'd normally hear offensive line's name is when they're doing something wrong. When he's getting a penalty, when he's giving up, missing a block, and the
Yeah.
quarterback's getting sacked, right? Like, so I do want to give him his props for that. I do
It's
not.
funny, yeah. Over here is when you hear holding offense, and then you're like, okay, it's gonna be 69. It's number
Yep.
69. It's like crazy. It's funny. You just brought something to my attention right now. So you know how you were like, yeah, like I don't like if we're not hearing your name, that's a great thing because that means you're doing your job. I remember hearing that when I was in the boot camp in the Navy. It was the RDCs, the drill sergeants would always say, if I know your name, if I have to call out your name, it's for two reasons. Either you're a warrior or you're a dirtbag. So I made sure all through the whole 12 weeks that them fools didn't know my name. Like I tried to stay out of sight and out of mind. And yeah, it's true. Like the
Yep.
people they called the names out were like warriors, running 2 miles in 11 minutes and stuff like that. But then if you were a dirt bag, we knew about it too. So yeah,
Yep.
I'd rather you go throughout the game and us not hear your name at all because that means that you're doing your job.
Yep. I agree. Miss Debbie says Mike just needs to be focused to avoid the penalties.
Hmm.
Yeah, Trent has been getting some calls too.
It's funny,
He's
Mariah.
been doing some weird shit.
Yeah, you know how you and I had noticed, and now let me see if the chat see also what happened too.
I'm
Did
drawing.
anybody in the chat? Did anybody in the chat notice that as soon as Aaron Banks went out, that I know Izzy ain't gonna win again. She got 57, but I'll check right now. But
61.
did you guys notice that Aaron Banks, as soon as he went out, that Trent Williams had two consecutive penalties?
Mm-hmm.
That just goes to show you the continuity of the offensive line. 59's and better. So yeah, so you look at the offensive line. That just goes to show you that the chemistry is there because they work together. And me and Mariah said, as soon as Aaron Banks went out, we're like, man, Trent Williams had two consecutive penalties as soon as Banks left.
Yep. And we're gonna be without him this week.
I know.
Sucks because he's had a hell of a season,
So
man.
yeah, it's like 59's a winner.
Oh wait, no, Eddie has
Hold on.
60.
Oh, is there Eddie? Oh, hold on, sorry, hold on. Let me shut up until I'm sure. Hold on.
Eddie swooped in.
He did. Let me see. Okay. Yep, I got the same. Eddie Glover was 60,
Congrats, Eddie.
and he was almost on the nose.
Yep, almost. Eddie, get this Brandon Ayuk and Javon Kinlaw. Congrats. I don't think I have your address, Eddie. So if you have Twitter, DM me on Twitter preferably. But if not, then you can email me your address. Just let me know when you do it because I never check my email otherwise. So I'll give you my email if you need that.
It ain't me, T. I'm not JV or who. What are you talking about, Izzy?
I think probably
I'm
because
not
I
JV
win.
or Tia.
Because I
Oh,
win multiple times.
got you.
All
You've
right,
been
so
winning
we'll have
pretty.
you guys go ahead and start your numbers. We'll go ahead and do this Eric Armstead card. Um, let's wrap it up. Let's give our flowers, and then I have a couple other things to talk to you about before we get into Arizona. I'm going to start, obviously, with my guy Ayuk. Um, Shanahan don't want to. Shanahan thinks he had a shitty game, but Shanahan has some weird shit with Ayuk that we don't know. Yes, we know that he had a catch that he didn't make at the beginning of the game that he should have. Um, but after that, he was money. The
Yes.
end of that game, like us getting down there to even attempt that field goal that Robbie missed was because of Brandon. Like he even that what happened, that tip, the pass was tipped, right? Like went flying up in the air, and somehow Brandon came down with that too. Like that wasn't even
Yep.
supposed to go to him.
Yeah, his long arms just went up
Yeah.
there and grabbed it. Yep.
And it seems like, each game we're seeing Purdy and Ayuk, chemistry get better and better. We talked about how, I wasn't upset, but how obviously Kittle was his go-to, and it seemed like Ayuk was kind of just, being left to the wayside. But
Hmm.
we're seeing, Purdy keeps, and even once Ayuk does, drops a ball or, messes up something, like Purdy doesn't shy away from that. He'll go immediately right back to Ayuk, and I like that. With Jimmy, it seemed like players would get in the doghouse at times, right? Like if they made a mistake, we wouldn't see him get thrown to for the next freaking 3 games. So it's nice to see Purdy, building that confidence with his receivers, the trust, and even when they do mess something up, he, goes right back to him. So Ayuk finished the game with 9 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. I think he needs 44 yards to break 1,000 this season. So this
I hope he
game,
gets it.
I really hope that he does. And even if the game's out of hand, whatever, and we're freaking running the ball, like make sure Ayuk gets his freaking catches. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
let him break 1,000 yards.
I'm sure there's a bonus in there too for him to get a
Probably.
thousand, like on his contract. So yeah, let's get that man 1,000.
Yep. Your flowers. Who you got?
Uh,
Hey, Pinor, John V.
Well, since you went with Ayuk, I'm just gonna go with the easy one. C-Mac, CMC. He did his thing, and like I said, it just shows you that he's whenever he's fresh and he's out there, he's just a game changer. Dude is just money. On defense, I'm gonna go Gibson. I think he played well. He's one of the one of the secondary players who actually was back there doing his thing. I know playing free safety is tough. You have to pretty much watch all the corners and the strong safety to make sure that they're not making a mistake, so you don't get beat in the back end. But yeah, I think Gibson played pretty well, and obviously he had the game sealing interception. So
Yep. He was my other one, but I think I had it written down. Oh yeah, Drake Jackson for him getting his first interception.
mm,
So hats off to him. We had already talked about it, so I won't go into it anymore. Something that was kind of interesting, Kinlaw. Do you think how much play do you think that we see him play? Like, are we gonna even see him play in the playoffs? Like, it seems like they started his first game back. He had six 16 snaps the first game back. This week against the Raiders, he had 22 snaps.
hmm
And I don't even notice when he's in there.
me neither.
So it's, and with them, it's opposite. Like, okay, I need to be hearing his name because, like, it's not like with the Mike McGlinchey, we're not hearing your name, so you're doing everything right. Like,
Yeah,
no, like, what's going on? Like, you're not making no plays. Like, what's he doing in there? Like, I don't even know when we're bringing him in. Like, I haven't even
yeah.
noticed him in the game at all. Honestly, not at all.
Well, yeah, and let me go back to what I was saying. So when I mentioned if I don't hear your name, you're doing your job. That goes for
Who
the
didn't?
that goes to the offensive line. He didn't practice today. He must be talking about Kinlaw. When I said that when I made the comment of if I don't hear your name, that means you're doing your job. That pertains to the offensive line
Yeah,
because you want to hear people's name from the other skill positions, and like you said, you want to hear Nick Bosa all game because that means he's in the quarterback space getting his sacks or whatever the case may be. So that's what I mean by that. But yeah, I agree. I mean, um, I don't know. I don't want to lose hope on this young man. I mean, it just sucks, but you're right. I don't even notice when the man's in there. Like I feel like Charles Omenihu has done a better job when he's in than Kinlaw, and we've talked about this prior too. It's like, you know, you can't control, the knee issue, the continuous swelling and stuff like that, but it's not looking good for him. No, I always have my head shaved. I just always wear hats.
yeah. You just
Uh,
never see it because they
I
have a
just always
hat
wear
on.
hat. I always wear hats. I just got off of work, so he get to see the clean shaven TL today without the hat. But anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
he's
just
bald. Okay.
yeah, I still look good for 43. But anyway, um, but yeah, no. But on a serious note, so yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I'd play him just because you want to get him, somewhat in the game shape and stuff like that, and like what they he said he had 22 snaps this last game.
Yeah.
Maybe if he can get like between 25 and 30, something like that. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of running because of the storm that's supposed to be there on Sunday. So hopefully, and that's what his specialty is. So hopefully he gets in there and he makes an impact, on the run and puts a stop on James Conner because James Conner's been running the ball pretty well. So
Yeah.
go in there, Kinlaw, and do your thing, man. Give us all some hope and some positivity that you're going to be a difference maker. Come the first week of the playoffs. So
Did you hear that um, after the game, Nick Bosa said that Josh Jacobs is the best running back that he's ever played against?
didn't
What do you
hear
think?
that.
What do you think
Hmm,
about
that's
that?
that's interesting due to the fact that
Played against
we've played we
CMC.
played we played he's played against Carolina twice. Played against Alvin Kamara, played against Derrick Henry. So that's interesting that he said that. I don't know. I mean, he is explosive. I think he's going to get a nice payday. But I mean, everybody. I think when it comes to like positions like that, I guess it's kind of like pick your poison. Some people like certain things in running backs and stuff like that. Like as much as I love CMC and Alvin Kamara, I'm more of even though he hasn't had a great season, I'm more of a Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb type of running back. I like those more physical type backs. But yeah, that's interesting that he said that. That's another one too. Last year we played the Colts against Jonathan Taylor,
Yeah.
so that's interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. What do you
Yeah,
think
I was
about
like,
that?
wow. Like, and yeah, he's had a hell of a year. But up until this point, like the Raiders declined his 5th year option for a reason. Like he
Yep.
hadn't really done like he was okay, but not great. Like my
Yeah.
brother-in-law is a diehard Raiders fan, and he wasn't happy having him as his running back up until this season. Now all of a sudden, yeah, he's the best thing since sliced bread. But it's like I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Like,
That's what
because the
bothers
first thing
me
that
about
came to
these
my mind
Raiders.
was like, you played against CMC.
Yeah, twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, Jonathan Taylor last year, who was the best in the league last year. You got Nick Chubb out there, like I said. Saquon Barkley's turned back the fountain of youth. He's looking like his rookie year again. He's been a beast. Like when he's healthy, you can argue he's top five when he's playing. So yeah, that's interesting to say. And Josh Jacobs, he did pretty good as a rookie. But this year he's been balling. But these contract year guys always scare me. I hate
Yep.
when they come out there like Mike McGlinchey, like he's
Mm-hmm.
like Ty said, he was like, man, Mike McGlinchey's playing good his last 5 6 games because he's looking for a payday.
Yeah.
What have you done? What have you done for me lately? I'm gonna finish the season strong so I can get paid, and I'm and I'm okay. Let me tell you guys something. I'm okay if Mike McGlinchey comes here and stays, but it better be at an affordable price. Like everybody's saying, the starting right tackle. Because I don't know if it was Rohan. I don't know if he's still here, but somebody put that that he should come back at 3 year 45 million. Ain't no way. I'm paying. I would
Yeah.
want. I mean, it's not my money. It is what it is. But for him to get 3 years 45 million, ain't no way. Like I'd give him maybe eight, and then everything else is incentive laced. You have to play every game. You can't be hurt. You give up less than this many sacks, you get more money. You don't have this many penalties, you get more money, and so forth. Yeah. So
Let's talk about. Oh, well, we actually talked about Trey Day's question without talking about it.
yeah, we kind of touched on it.
Let's see what else had starred. All right, let's do Hello, Paul H. Nice picture.
Yeah, 15 a
That
year. Yeah,
picture,
no,
that picture of Ayuk, man, that
so
picture
so
goes hard.
cold,
Like,
so
when that
cold.
happened
Yeah,
in the game, like that was just like, man.
yeah, that picture's cold.
Before we get in then to talk about the Cardinals, make sure you guys have your numbers in. I'm about to pick the winner for that. This little ding dong, I can't even remember his name. This freaking stupid ass guy.
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah. I don't know if Brock Purdy started screwing his daughter last week or what really happened, but he had to put out a video or, whatever he puts out. Talking, comparing. Now, you're comparing. This is what I don't understand. You're putting out a video comparing two quarterbacks. One that's a rookie, the first 4 starts of his career as a rookie, against Jimmy Garoppolo's last 4 starts of his career in year whatever he is, 9, 10, whatever. And you're putting out content comparing these two things. Like, does that even make fucking sense to compare a rookie's first 4 starts ever in the NFL against somebody that's been in the freaking NFL all these years with the same team for 5, 6 years already, in the same scheme, all this? And you're comparing those two, putting out content, thinking that you're some kind of smart guy. Like, I just don't understand. Like, this shit's so ridiculous. So he puts out this video saying, and then he shows, like, it comes up on the screen, they show the
Hmm.
stats. So, they're both 4-0. The completion percentage, Purdy's was 67.3, Jimmy's was 72.3. Brock has 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Jimmy had 7-0. And then the passer ratings, Brock's 112.7 and Jimmy's is 114.3. And he puts up the stats and he's like, Jimmy's just better. Like, that's his argument. Jimmy's just better. Look at these stats. Like, I can't even believe that this guy's making, I can't even imagine how much money he's making. Millions of
Oh, a
freaking
grip,
dollars,
a grip. Yeah.
right? And has been doing this so long. And this is the kind of shit that he's putting out.
I feel like it's
Like,
clickbait.
oh my God. It's so
Yeah.
aggravating. Like, it's just so frustrating. Because then you have people, a side of the fan base that's just so stuck on Jimmy. that then they turn to stuff like this and be like, see, like we're not the only ones that think it. Like these people that are paid millions of dollars to talk about football think it as well. Think Jimmy's the best as well. And it's just like so
Yeah.
frustrating because like, do you actually watch the games? Like, do you watch Jimmy play compared to Purdy play? Like, or you just look at these raw stats and it's just like, okay, yeah, this one's better.
Yeah, that's why stats really don't mean anything to me because it's all about eye tests. There's no way you can look at the games that Brock Purdy has been in and that Jimmy has started this year and say that that Jimmy's a better quarterback. You can clearly see this offense is more like how's the word I want to use? Anyway, more potent, I guess you can say.
Dynamic,
Offensive one more
more
potent, more dynamic, yeah,
everything.
more fun to watch,
Yeah,
more
more
exciting.
exciting.
Like yeah, like we said, like it's crazy that you look at a 9-year vet. Every time he drops back 4 or 5 yards, six was it 5 and 6 step drop backs, I get nervous. I'm like, man, hope it's not interception. I don't get nervous with Purdy, and I didn't even get nervous when Trey when he dropped back. So the fact that I would do it with Jimmy is crazy. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on here. I think too many people are too enamored with that win loss record and saying, "Oh, this is what Kyle does." They look at the two NFC Championship games, they look at the Super Bowl, they look at that stuff, and just automatically believe like, "Oh, well, Jimmy's the better quarterback." But it's like, no, like there's no way you can look like you said, Mariah. When you watch the game, there's no way that you can look at it and say that Jimmy is better. That's not close to me.
And it took Jimmy how many ever 9, 10 years to get to this point where he had 7 interceptions. I mean, 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Hmm.
We waited all these years for him to finally have games in a row that he didn't turn the ball over. So let's not act like this is Jimmy Garoppolo's play. Like, why don't you look at all the games that we suffered where he's throwing 2, 3 freaking picks a game, where he's having a freaking fumble, an interception, all this other shit a game, No, let's find the best games that he's ever played in his career and compare that to this rookie just starting. Like, it's just freaking asinine, I swear. Let's draw the winner.
I'm a little confused though because I don't know when it starts. Does it start at Miss Deb at 68? Because it looks like David V's numbers in there at 59, but I think that was from the last drawing, right?
Let me see.
Look at 4:39 p.m. You see Miss Deb at 68. I don't know
Yeah,
when
because
it's
they're already saying congratulations. So we started after the congrats for the last one.
okay. So where's that at? Where's
Debbie
after
at
the
68.
Debbie at 68? Okay, so David just must have put 59 again then.
Yeah, because he puts his number again after that.
Okay, perfect.
John V, you don't have to apologize.
What's he
I
apologizing
appreciate you
for?
being here, for being late.
Oh no, I ain't gotta apologize, brother.
Late for the date. You're even late when you're supposed to be a guest on the show. So what are you apologizing when you're supposed to be in the audience? Paul H says Brock is on track for more touchdowns and the 49ers score more points. Exactly. Like if you watch the actual game and watch what's going on, like we're struggling to put up even friggin' 20 points with Jimmy. Like give me a break. Like, yeah, it's easy to not turn the ball over when you're only throwing 2 yards in front of you, when you're only throwing 2 yards to the side of you. Yeah, you're not going to have interceptions.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't. Good luck, everybody. This is for the Eric Armstead.
Oh, an amazing number.
You know the vibes.
Miss Deb is 68. Looks like it's it. Let me see if there's a 70. And
Dang, Miss
if it is,
Debbie.
if there is a 70.
Miss Debbie, you should have been thinking about getting freak nasty. You would have put 69.
Miss Debbie getting freak nasty. I saw a shirt. I saw a shirt today. Hey, it's all good.
She
I
can
saw
if
a
she
shirt.
wants.
Yeah,
Shit.
I know. I see her. I see Miss Debbie as as my mom. So it's kind of weird just saying that. But anyway, I saw a shirt today that said, "As long as I have a face, you'll always have a place to sit." It's awesome.
I'm gonna get that for my wife.
Yeah, it looks like it's Miss Deb.
She's in the kitchen. She says, "What? Don't interrupt my show, please. Thanks. We're just talking about you."
She said, "I'm gonna get that from my wife." That's hilarious. Oh,
she said, "You're supposed to be talking about football."
Yep,
Congrats,
Miss Deb.
Miss Deb. Miss
Cowboy
Debbie,
Angel.
it's Eric
He's
Armstead.
he
Woo!
said Mike McGlinchey gets freak nasty. You would think wearing the number 69, he'd be a little nastier, but it is what it is.
I didn't even play you guys any videos. Let me give you guys a thank you. Hold on. We're not with the program today. Congrats. All right, let me get situated here. We'll get into this game against the measly old Cardinals. Let's start off with comparing here a little. So, oh my god, I didn't even know that the record was that bad. Wow, they've only won 4 games.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Woo! So, Arizona's sitting at 21st overall for offense, 21st overall for defense, 18th passing, and 20th rushing. Now, we know that passing and rushing obviously is a little bit different because they have a quarterback in there that can't pass and rush now. So, take it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
49ers are 5th in offense. They now have us at 3rd in defense, 13th in passing, and 8th in rushing. So we clear them by far. But that passing has gone way better in the last couple of weeks too, because we were like, I want to say 16th, 17th a couple of weeks ago. So now they have us at 13th.
Okay.
So getting better, getting better. We have a quarterback starting for the Arizona Cardinals that I think he's only I think they got him off the Colts practice squad or the Lions, one of those. I
David
don't know.
Bluff or whatever his name
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on somebody's practice squad, and then since Arizona had so many injuries, kind of like it's crazy how many quarterbacks the NFC West has gone through. to go off another tangent real quick.
Yeah, you're right.
Arizona's on what? Their 4th?
Arizona's on their 4th.
We're on our 3rd. The Rams had 3 or 4.
They have 3, yep. And then I think Geno Smith's been the only
Yeah,
mainstay.
Seattle's the only one. To
Yeah.
have 3 teams in the division go through at least 3 quarterbacks in one season, that got to be a first. That has to be. So, yeah, I believe they got him off a practice squad because they've had so many injuries. We just seen yesterday, I think, that Kyler had successful surgery on his MCL, I think, one of them. And then every quarterback that's come in since has got injured. It's kind of like I was thinking about this, for the Dolphins, that every time Tua goes out and Teddy's going to get a shot, right? Like they talk him up. Finally, we see how much work Teddy puts into this and blah, 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 right? They always talk him up right before the game. He's finally going to get his start. He got to prepare with the starter, all the first string, yada, yada. And then he goes into the game and he's hurt right away.
Yep.
Every single time. I'm like, does that guy have the worst injury luck ever? Man, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine. Your dream, right? Your dream to be the starter, the starting quarterback. You're finally getting your shot, and then you get hurt.
Yep.
A few weeks later, you're finally getting your shot, and then you get hurt. A year later, you're finally getting your shot, and then you get hurt. It's that's crazy. Pretty much. I mean, the only thing to really talk about for me is that this is JJ Watt's last game before he retires. So shouts out to him. He's had a hell of a career. He's been a hell of a guy on the field, off the field. Him and his family, they give so much to the cities that they play in, the cities that they live in, to charity. They do so much for the community. So, shout out to him. He definitely is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Easy.
Probably first
should be
ballot.
First ballot for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, hats off to him. Hope he has a great retirement. Yeah. Hell of a career.
Always been a classy dude too. When the hurricane hit Houston, was it Katrina, whatever it was, hit Houston, like he was out there doing his thing and out there, blood, sweat, and tears, and the nasty weather, still donating food and just all this stuff. Dude just been classy. And it's just funny. Every time I think of JJ Watt, I always put him and Alden Smith. They're always going to be, to me, always put together, because I never forget when they were both drafted. you could argue Alden Smith was better than him. Alden Smith was the man, and the fact that he
Mhm.
didn't pan out, but like, and then for JJ to keep playing and being the man that he was, like hats off to him. Like he's just been a beast. Like he was what is he three defensive players of the year. Like
Yeah,
dude
something like
is
that. Yeah.
definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. So
Yep. Let's start a giveaway, and then we'll have you guys do your score predictions after this. But enter your giveaway numbers first. Let's do. Let's go with this. Kyle Juice Check and Brandon Ayuk.
I thought that was Trey Lance at first. From my angle, it looks blue and green.
Which one?
The
This one?
the Brandon Ayuk one there from my end, it does. It looks like it's blue. It looks like it's green and yellow. It looks like Trey in college.
I think what is this? The color blue and yellow.
Or Arizona State? No,
Yeah.
they're like a burgundy and yellow.
Well, this ain't that uniform because this is a dark color.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like black and yellow.
Oh, yeah, they wear black too.
Oh,
Arizona
okay.
State, yeah, black and yellow, like a maroon
Black
and
and yellow,
yellow.
black and
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
So yeah, what are you feeling about this game?
I don't even know who's playing. I know they have a ton of injuries. If it's supposed to be the weather's supposed to be nasty, like I think it is, I think it's going to be kind of low scoring. Uh, yeah, like really low. Like I mean, so you remember that game we played against the Commanders back in the day when it was like 9-0 and we won, and I
Yeah,
still everybody that slide the whole
yeah.
defensive did. I feel like it's going to be a game like that. I think we scored more than 9, but I think it's going to be something similar to that. I just things the main things I want the most. Number one, us to come out healthy because this weather it could get ugly with people falling on each other's legs and all this other stuff. Like we don't need any injuries. So
Mm-hmm.
so just like if CMC has to sit out, fine. CMC, Aaron Banks, you keep him out. Debo, keep him out. Whatever the case may be, because from what I'm seeing, I mean, it's even ugly here right now. When I was driving home from work, it was flooding.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just imagine what it is over there in California and saying how that weather's going to look. So main thing is health. Let's come out here healthy. Let's get a win, of course, because I would love for the Eagles to crap the bed and us getting that number one seed. Even though I saw an article that the Giants were going to sit a lot of their players just because they're guaranteed the playoff spot now.
I saw
But
Dable said in his press conference that he's not sitting anybody.
oh, really? Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe the article was just trying to get people off their game or something. But yeah, so I hope the Giants go in there and just smash on the Eagles and we get this W and get the number one seed so we can have a bye so that we can be well rested. Then Debo, Kinlaw, whoever the case may be, can come back a little bit healthier. So, and the third thing is let's get Brandon Ayuk that 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Let's get that man that 1,000 yards. I mean, he deserves it. He for a man that's open 90% of the time, his yardage should be at least 1,300
Yeah.
at minimum. But hey, it is what it is. We're getting the wins. I mean, he's going. I mean, he has a 5th-year option just because he was a first-round pick, so he doesn't need to get paid right away. But yeah, let's get them in 1,000 yards. Those are the 3 things I'm looking forward to the most: a healthy roster after the whistle in the fourth quarter, um, a W, of course, and then also Brandon Ayuk getting that 1,000 yards receiving for the first time in his career. And score prediction, I'm going 23 to 9, San Francisco.
All right. All right. Also, I saw a thing that Kittle needs 11 yards. He has 5,225 to Kelsey 5,236 to be third most receiving yards by a tight end in the first 6 seasons of his career. Which is
Nice.
amazing that he has a chance, 11 yards away from passing Kelsey with that. When Kelsey gets the ball so much, like
Mm-hmm.
it seems like he should be blowing Kittle away with yards. Like I don't know, maybe that's later on, like year 7, 8, whatever he is in his
Yeah,
career. Maybe not in the first couple years, I don't know, but
maybe.
like right
'Cause,
now,
yeah,
it seems like he should have way more yards than what Kittle
yeah.
does. Because
Because he
like
had
that's
Alex
our number
Smith,
one.
huh? Yeah. hit Alex Smith first couple of years of his career, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But now, with like you said, with Patrick Mahomes, the last one's what 2018 or whenever he came, 2017. No, 2018 when he got his first start. 2018 when he was first became the starter. Like that dude was just balling and always throwing to Kelsey. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So we need Kittle to get that 11 yards.
11 yards. Oh, he'll get that.
Yeah. Well, probably, I mean, that'll put him right at. So let's go with 12 yards. Let's go with
Yeah,
15 yards
let's
just to
go
be
15.
safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Score prediction for me. I'm going with, I'll just go with what I have there already. 34-9.
Oh dang. Okay.
I hope that this team, the defense, really learned their lesson. Because, every time, and I always think about this, every time we go into a game thinking, oh, Bosa has this weak matchup on the offensive line, whatever, some third string backup. He should have 4 sacks this game, 5 sacks this game. He doesn't end up getting anything. When we go into a game thinking, oh, this team has, like the last time we played Arizona with their backup quarterback and they kicked their ass, this Raiders game, like we almost lost. It's like when we go into a game thinking like, oh, we should blow this team out, like something no crazy always happens.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. What's up, Steve-O Supremo? Thank you for joining us. Let me see where you guys start your score predictions here.
John V at 37 at 502.
JDLR says 70% chance of rain on Sunday in Santa Clara.
From what I heard, I have cousins that live in the Bay Area, and they're just telling me it's been raining like crazy. And I heard that Sunday's just supposed to be a beast.
Make sure if you guys haven't entered your numbers that you do so. And if you guys want to start your score predictions, I know some of you guys have already put them. I'll start getting those in and give you guys a couple more minutes to get your numbers in. I think we got Melissa, Bryant, Steve-O. 22-10. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it'll be interesting because a coach can say, oh, we're going to not sit our starters, but, depending on how that game goes, you never know. But, man, if they can beat the Eagles, like, that would be awesome. Like, and remember we talked about this, like, do we see a chance that, a couple weeks ago, like, that the Eagles are going to drop these games? And at that point, Jalen Hurts wasn't hurt. So we were like, there's no way they're going to go lose all these games. And now to be sitting in a spot where, like, it could actually be possible, like, man.
And then what's crazy about it is if they lose and the Cowboys win, they'll go from like the 1st seed to the 5th seed. That's crazy.
Yeah, they can drop hella far. I'm sure I haven't paid attention. Has it been announced if Jalen Hurts is playing?
Oh, that I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that yet. So yeah,
like I told you when we were watching the game, like I don't see any way that they don't start him. Like I don't care if he had one leg falling off.
They have to get
like they need to win this game. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to get this W.
Denise 34-17. Ryan 35-12. We're having a bunch of blowout scores again, people. Somebody switch it up right now. Swan, I already got earlier. Tia 30-9. Bebop 28-7. Tony Montana 28-17. Man, this is getting scary here. It's happening again.
Dang. Miss Des said, I'll say Niners over the Cardinals by 20. Okay.
Woo! Get that 20 piece there. Zombie said, I stopped picking and we won ever since. Don't you ever pick again.
You see what Swan said?
Um, oh yeah,
Hurt. He took first.
first
Okay.
first team reps today.
Yeah. He playing.
Yeah, that's what I told you. There is no way they're gonna sit that guy. All right, let's draw the winner
All right. Let me
for
get up to
this
JV.
Kyle Juszczyk and Brandon Ayuk cards.
Hope Izzy wins it just because of Kyle Juszczyk. No,
Oh,
99. Okay.
99.
Okay.
99.
No border got 72.
Nobody ever
Tony
really
Cope.
guesses that, so
Tony Cope got 97.
dang.
Let me
I
see
already know you won.
before I declare a winner like I did last time. Put my foot in my mouth. Let me make
I
sure it's all
told you the
good.
Colts, they're coming for your guys' heads.
Yep. Tony Cope 97.
Yay!
Bryant Young.
Congrats. The Colts are cleaning house. They've had some good luck
Dang.
lately.
I'm
You guys need to
selling
go
my
get some
two
lotto tickets.
tickets. You selling your tickets, Miss Deb? Everybody hit up Miss Deb if you want 2 tickets to the game this Sunday.
She says she's selling her 200 level tickets to Sunday's game and a Green Lot 3 parking pass. So make
There's a
sure if you
pack.
guys are interested that you get in contact with Miss Debbie on Twitter, on wherever you have her. Yeah, because it's going to be raining, so she can't be going to the game. Can't have her out there in the rain. Let me play this for you, Tony.
Huff.
All right, y'all. I think that's all we have. You have anything else for the people? Oh, I did want
No.
to actually talk about something
Oh, okay.
about the injury updates. So Elijah Mitchell's window did get opened. Him and Debo are both practicing, appear to be on track to play if needed. So with that being said, it did come out that Christian McCaffrey has a mild ankle sprain. And obviously he's had a knee, that's like he's always on the injury report with a knee. But he was out of practice yesterday. He went back to practice today, but it said he was just doing individual work while the teammates were warming up. And then once practice started, he left. So with that being said, if Elijah Mitchell's ready to come back, you have TDP, you have Mason. Oh, wasn't this Mason's touchdown game?
He had a touchdown. Yeah, he did have a touchdown.
Yeah, we forgot to bring that up. Mason
Yeah,
had
he
his
did have a
first
touchdown.
Shout out to him. Yeah, that was awesome. That was after McCaffrey got that long ass run, and then they put in, Mason and got the touchdown. He was so excited too.
He was.
Like, man, like that just made me so like smile so much watching him, like so celebrating, like running back and forth all around, and like you could tell the team was so happy for him too. Like it was so awesome to see. But anyway, with that being said, do you think it would be smart to sit CMC out this game, knowing that we're playing against, who we're playing against in the whole situation, if Elijah Mitchell is ready to come back?
Yeah, I would sit out CMC. Let Mitchell play, but Mitchell, I still even with him being healthy, I wouldn't even start him. Let him get back in the swing of things too. I'd probably, I'd have a heavy load of actually let me reword that because I don't like the way that's gonna sound. I'd have a heavy dose of Jordan Mason and TDP, and then give maybe Elijah Mitchell like 5 to 7 carries or so to get him acclimated, and then so then he can be fresh for the playoffs as well. So I'm really hoping we get that number 1 seed so we all can rest and chill and stuff like that. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. But yeah, fortunately, Tia probably like, yeah, let me go ahead and change this wording real quick. But yeah, I mean, if we can't beat the 4, what is the record? 4-12.
Yep.
we can't beat these dudes on our home turf. I get it. There's going to be the weather's going to be a factor and stuff, but this team's been rolling. I think the last game was a huge wake up call for this defense and David Bluff. Like I don't even know who this dude is. So I figure, you know, and with my score prediction, I guess I should say I think we get two offensive touchdowns. I think one's going to be on defense. I think it's going to be like a pick six or something, or maybe like a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So, yeah, I don't think CMC should play or Debo. Aaron Banks, he's out for sure, right? With the MCL
Yeah.
sprain. Okay, yeah. Sit CMC and Mitchell, Debo on a pitch count. I'm cool with that too. But
Yeah.
if
Brunskill
Debo,
will take Bank's spot.
but if Debo plays, strictly wide receiver. I don't want to see no snaps behind the line of scrimmage. I don't want to see him running between the tackles. I get it as football, but the man's just coming back. No, use him strictly for wide receiver. You got CMC. I mean, sorry, you got TDP, and you got Jordan Mason. And let them be the bell cows, especially in this kind of weather.
Yeah, I agree. I would though if Debo, of course, if he's 80 whatever percent, no.
Yeah,
But I mean, if he's 100%, I wouldn't have him come back a full game, but at least give him some snaps. But I
some
agree,
snaps.
only at wide receiver.
Yeah, give Danny Gray some snaps. Give him some
It
more
was nice
snaps
to
and
see
stuff.
Danny Gray actually in the game
Absolutely.
used more than just like downfield, like to
Yeah.
actually get him used like that, like use him more.
Yeah, use him on a
He did
sweep. I
great.
like
Like you
that.
could
Yeah.
tell, you could see his speed and everything, like with just in that little play.
Yep.
Like I think it was your brother, right? Was like, who's that? Like speeding down the field or something, like
Yeah. Yeah. He was
He's
like,
like,
"What?"
yeah.
He's like, I think everybody was shocked to see him in the game. Like, was that Danny Gray? Yeah. So yeah.
Excuse me, Ryan. Like,
Yeah. See, that's
Jesus.
that's why I stopped saying hello because yeah, jump off a load at your back door. Yeah. Nah. What y'all
Tanya
do?
was
Y'all
here.
can do that in private.
Tanya, she multitasks. She cooks. She tends to her patients at the hospital. She listens to the show. She listens to somebody else's show. She's doing all kinds of stuff at one time. Okay,
Multitasker.
she can't be talking in chat to us. She don't have that kind of time. We're doing better, thank you. We're all getting healthy around here. But yeah, fam, we appreciate you guys. We will
Yep.
see you after Sunday's game, and then we'll get ready for the playoffs. Should
Yep.
be
Can't wait.
should be a fun time. Some other little measly teams like Arizona, their season ends this weekend.
Yeah.
Fortunately, ours doesn't.
Yep. They're gonna have a what you call it? Probably like a top five pick with their record. Them and the Houston Texans are gonna be fighting that out. I think the Texans got like 3 wins, so it's crazy.
I think there's only two teams. It's only between the Bears and the Texans that can get the number one pick.
Oh, is it just those
So
two?
the Texans have to lose and the Bears have to win in order, for whatever for it to change.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see because not even
Oh.
Justin Fields is playing for the Bears, so that'll be interesting. That'll be crap team against crap team for sure. And like, what do you tell your guys? Don't go out there and try. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they're playing for their next job. So I never
Exactly.
understood like how stuff like that works because like I wouldn't be, yeah, you want to tank. Well, that's all great for you, but I ain't gonna be here next season. Like I need to play my ass
Exactly.
off to get a job wherever I'm gonna be.
Facts. That's facts. Yep.
All right, fam. We love you and we appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us for an hour and a half. We'll be
All right,
back for
fam.
Instant Reaction Show with the fam. Remember, too, if you guys want to come on the Instant Reaction Show, just shoot me a message or show up here whenever we're going to start and let me know, and I'll send you the link. We'd love to have you guys come on. That's what it's for. Talk everything out. Not just for us to cry. Oh, Sean, now you want to show up. We're out of here, buddy. I'm shutting the door. Shutting the door right on you.
Have a
I
good evening,
appreciate
fam.
you stopping by, though. You have anything else you want to close with?
Nope, I think that's it. I appreciate you guys as always. You guys can be anywhere else or listening to anybody else, but you guys are here with us. So I just appreciate the support.
Yep. And then I do want to say, that we'll continue to keep Damar Hamlin in our prayers, hopefully. And I said this last night before I went to sleep on Twitter, hopefully each morning that we wake up, we have better news. And this morning we did. So hopefully
Yep,
tomorrow morning we
exactly.
wake up to better news as well. So
Exactly.
yeah, We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys Sunday after the game, hopefully after a win.